Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Rundown from the Nic Wyse Team. I'm your host, Nic Wyse, and with me, as always, is my co host, Nathan Schwartz. Today, we are going to be talking about a new piece of legislation. I love legislation, especially as it pertains to housing, but this one could have a huge impact on Hoosier homeowners and the real estate market.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. We're talking about Senate Enrolled Act 1, which was just signed into law by the governor. It's being called one of the most significant property tax relief bills Indiana has passed in years. And it's something every homeowner, buyer, seller, and investor should know about.
That's right. So instead of calling it Senate Enrolled Act 1 every time, we're just going to call it C1, SEA1. And I think if you Google it, you'll find it on that as well. But C1 is a major real estate focused bill in that it works for quite a while. It's going to be an ongoing thing, until legislation could change down the road, anything could happen. But as of now, it was just passed by the Senate and signed into law. What this bill does, it's designed to provide immediate tax benefits and relief and long-term reforms for Hoosier homeowners. And a quick overview of what this is going to do. It goes into effect in 2026, so it's not going to be this year. Obviously, we're paying our bills right now, but it will go into effect in 2026. So it is going to be a 10% property tax credit up to $300 for all homestead properties starting next year. So again, homestead properties, so it's your primary residence. If it's your only primary residence and you claim a homestead exemption on it, this is a $300 max tax credit that you're going to get. If your tax bill would be lower than $3,000 a year, it would be 10% of whatever your tax bill is. Now, for fixed income seniors, if you qualify that way, or for disabled veterans, there's an additional up to $550 total tax credit. So for those individuals, $850 could be on the line here as far as tax savings go. Overall in the state, I think we calculated that the savings is going to be somewhere around $1.3 billion to Hoosier homeowners over the next 3 years. A portion of that is going to go directly to Indiana farmers. There's tax relief intended specifically for farmers who, as we all know, are incredibly important to the lifeblood of our communities. $125 million is going to be earmarked basically to help the Indiana farmers. There's going to be exemptions for Hoosier small businesses. Business personal property taxes as well are going to have some exemptions that are in place from that. I didn't have a lot of information on that. We'll maybe cover that on a later episode. And then there's going to be a cap reduction on local income tax collection. So local income tax rate of 3.75% is going to go down to 2.9%. It's not even a whole percentage point, but that actually makes a huge difference when we're talking about local income taxes. That actually comes out to a tune of almost $2 billion, $1.9 billion in savings.
Yeah, those are some crazy numbers. And for a lot of our listeners, this could mean hundreds of dollars back in your pocket every year.
Yeah.
We'll move on to, so let's talk about the biggest benefit first, which is the 10% property tax credit on homestead properties. Starting in 2026, so not this year, but next year, homeowners will see an automatic credit of up to $300 applied to their tax bill. That's a direct savings without having to fill out any forms.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part, right? It's just going to happen automatically. Like we were just joking, Nate and I were just talking about taxes, and one of my rental properties, the taxes shot up more than 100% because I had not filed a renewal of some form that you do when you have a rental property. If you want to do this, by the way, if you have a rental property and you want to save on your property taxes, call us. We can show you how to do this. But there's a form that you fill out, you send it in, and they process it, and they basically reassess your value based off of your income from that as a rental property, instead of saying, here's the assessed value of it on the market plus 2% because it's an investment property. It's a huge difference. On that property alone, taxes are going to go from like $5,400 down to about $2,400. So massive, massive savings. So if you own rental properties, call us and ask us how to do this. We can help you out. But yeah, this C1, Senate Enrollment Act 1, goes even further in that, again, it helps our fixed income seniors who have obviously been struggling with costs. As we've seen inflation rise the cost of everything, the cost of Social Security is not rising, and that's a huge problem, at least not rising by the same metric or even close to it to keep up with inflation. And it, of course, helps our disabled veterans who are often capped in the same way. Their income is obviously very limited. So additional stackable credits for them, again, increasing their tax credit by another $550.
Yeah, and it's not just homeowners. C1 also provides over $125 million in relief for farmers, which helps stabilize rural housing markets and property values.
Yeah, which obviously here in Elkhart County, LaGrange County, even a lot of St. Joe County where we work, a lot of rural housing, right? A lot of farming.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. Again, I didn't have tons and tons of information on that one, like what qualifies as a farm. I don't know if you have to, have your designation as farm, or if it's going to be for more agricultural zoning, which, traditionally, if you have a 3 acre plus property in the countryside, you've probably got ag zoning. And so it might apply to you. We'll wait and see how that all boils down.
Yeah.
The other thing I find really, really interesting is roughly 2/3 of Indiana homeowners will actually pay less in property taxes next year than they do this year. Obviously, there's a tax credit. That makes sense. But typically our taxes go up every year, right? I know plenty of us see those jumps. Sometimes they're really significant. Well, 2/3 of us, even though our assessed value is probably going to go up next year, will still pay less in taxes because of this tax credit. The hope, I guess, right there is that this could encourage more homeowners to sell, freeing up a little more income, also making homes a little bit more affordable in that, when your lender's going through and they're running everything, taxes, property taxes, one of the things that they account for in your monthly payments. Hopefully that's going to help, with our home buyers and our inventory, increasing inventory in what's already a tight market.
Yeah, exactly. And from a buyer's standpoint, lower projected taxes make monthly payments more manageable. So that could help you with affordability and bring more buyers into the market, especially first-time home buyers.
Yep, you got it. I just want to hit again that income tax local income tax cap is going to be a part of this. It's going to drop that 0.85%. And just reiterating again that's nearly $2 billion. That doesn't just disappear into the nether, right? That is going back into the pockets of Hoosier homeowners and people that work here. So that is disposable income that is now going to be spent throughout the state. Again, it should help fuel demand for housing and home improvement. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. As people have these additional monies, they're probably going to turn around and spend them on their home. That's what they traditionally do.
Yeah. And for investors and small business owners, this law is also a big deal. So C1 expands exemptions from business personal property taxes, which helps reduce overhead for rental owners and developers.
Yeah. And I definitely want to dig into this more and see, is this new construction that we're going to be helping as well? Is this going to be renovators, flippers, as you may call them,
Right.
Property acquisition companies? I'm not sure. Is it going to be commercial? Is it going to be multifamily housing? I apologize to our listeners that might be interested in those things because I don't know yet, but I will find out. So if that's you and you want more information, reach out to me. It's probably just a matter of days, if not hours, that I end up getting that information in. But again, the hope is more inventory, more options, and a stronger housing ecosystem all around.
Yeah.
Nate, I think that's mostly it. We wanted to kind of keep this episode short, which we're doing a better job. I know some people are like half hour, guys. That's a little too long. So we're trying to keep everything 15 minutes or less and as close to the 10-minute market as we can. But really the bottom line here is if you plan to own a home, buy a home, sell a home, or considering just investing in real estate, this SEA1, C1 is a very positive development for Hoosier homeowners and just Hoosiers in general, creating more savings, encouraging movement, and opening the door for more people to enter the real estate market.
Yeah. And remember also, again, that most of these changes go into effect in 2026. So now's the time to plan ahead, talk to your agent, talk to your tax professional, and make sure you're ready for the benefit from these changes.
Yep. That's great advice. Not a bad idea to talk to your CPA, talk to your accountant if you use one for tax purposes, see how this is going to affect you. I'm sure they're up to date on this as well, and they're probably following it very, very closely, just like we are in the real estate market. I think that's it. We're just under 10 minutes, so let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on episode 21 of the Realty Rundown with the Nic Wyse Team. If you have any questions, like we said, please do reach out to us. If you just want to talk about property taxes, I know everybody loves talking about it. Reach out to us. If you're worried about your assessment right now, reach out to us. We're getting a lot of that this time of year. It's not a problem.
Yep.
So we're here to help you guys because we got Nick and Nate knows, and we get your wise replies.
That's right. Thanks, guys.
See you next time, everybody.